Laura Bennett, let's get into it.
Quick disclaimer before you go. Viewer discretion.
Okay, this is the part 1 of the whole game.
Happening to clackety 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 clack. And that should be it.
A person with a personality disorder
Yeah, I think
itself an extreme intelligence and behavior and a lack
A
of
person with a personality disorder manifesting itself in extreme anxiety, antisocial. What? Have you guys been?
Hello to my 2 viewers, how are you guys today? Hello to my 1 viewer, how are you today? Hello.
Laura's life started in a typical way. She was born May 15, 1982 in Redmond, Oregon. Raised
Don't
by
go
a
off,
caring
you'll
mother
die.
and a strong-willed father. The peaceful
Oh my
life
God.
of this happy family ended while Laura was still young, when her mother died in a car accident. Laura suffered, but her
No, wait. We have to stay here.
drinking
Yeah.
and became abusive and violent.
No, it's just stop. Shut
She
up.
would often appear with bruises. Laura's choice was between hiding and lying about her injuries.
Oh, school.
To her, lying was easier. She lied about
I'll be free. I'll be free. Guys, I'll be free. Bye-bye.
Laura's life started in a typical way. Laura's choice was between hiding and lying about her injuries and losing her Redmond, Oregon family. Raised by a caring mother and a strong-willed father, she lied about the peaceful life of this happy family ended while Laura was still young, when her mother died in a car accident. Laura suffered, but her father was broken. He began drinking. As the years went by, Laura continued to struggle with her father's barking stopped till one night he locked the door out of the house. By agonized, she knelt in the backyard, panicked, and she hopped the fence to get to the dog. Laura was afraid of getting caught, but she never worried about it. In Laura's mind, the dog found barking in anger and started to bludgeon.
Somebody's been spamming it.
She thought the problem was solved. She pulled a large stone from the garden and hurled it at the dog
Whoa.
until he recovered anger. She found a shovel and started digging a shallow grave. As she moved the shovelfuls of dirt, Laura realized something.
Oh, calm
The
down.
anger that she felt every day was gone. She felt good about herself, replaced by agonized had a problem.
Yeah, the dog's dead.
Somehow, the dog
Yeah, no crap.
was afraid of getting caught, and she didn't want to let that feeling go.
I'll be full.
And began to bludgeon the dog with it. The whining stopped. But she
I'm not
did
doing it though. I'm going to my dorm.
The dog's
I'll be 4 time.
did into his stress.
You guys enjoy the story so far? She killed her dog. Because her dad started yelling at her. If that was me, then I would have no dogs.
2004. Laura is an adult living on her own. Her life is still unstable and she changes jobs frequently. She still kills animals. She thinks of it as her hobby. At first, it was difficult to find her victims in places where she wouldn't get caught. But she learned that pet stores and shelters didn't ask too many questions. Another problem solved. In September 2016, Laura adopted a 2-year-old cat named Cinder. This was her 18th adoption. That same evening, Laura let Cinder outside. Right away, Cinder leapt over the fence into the neighbor's yard. This wasn't Laura's first anxious cat, and she'd already solved this kind of problem. She kept cans of tuna in her kitchen. Bait. She left it at the edge of her yard and waited for Cinder to wander back. Laura didn't expect Cinder's new friend to wander back with him. The child's name was Tom Murphy. He was 6 years old and his family lived in Laura's neighborhood. When Cinder appeared at his house, he was excited to have a new friend. He pet Cinder and played with him, and followed him when he began to wander back home. Laura was waiting with a wooden bat. She hid at the edge of her house to avoid making Cinder anxious. As soon as Cinder appeared, she swung hard for his head. It was over in a second. Todd, only just behind Cinder, had watched in shock. His hands covered his mouth, gasped. Laura turned to see him and began to feel fear. No person had ever witnessed her hobby before. She ran for Todd. Todd, still shocked, could barely run before Laura overpowered him. She knocked him unconscious. She had a moment to think, but there was only one solution to her problem. It was time to kill a child.
Holy crap, this is getting dark. This is a really hard story.
Laura gathered up the dead Cinder and unconscious boy and moved them into her car. She drove until she found the river. She stuffed the two into a garbage bag and bludgeoned the whole mess of bodies with her bat. She didn't think too much that this was the first moment she was killing a human. She'd think about that later. She filled the bag with stones and gravel from the riverbank and dropped it into the water. As she drove home, Laura felt a familiar feeling and remembered how she felt the first time she killed. She felt even better now. Her hobby had grown. She had grown. She was a real killer.
OB6. I'm getting pretty far in this story. Wow. Oh, this is dark though. Well, if you guys have noticed, my controller is making the forward. It's not broken or anything. It's just Rec Room.
In 2016, Laura is married with a young daughter. Her life is more stable now, employed as a hairstylist and enjoying life as a wife and mother. She still keeps up her hobby. She still kills. For years she managed to keep satisfied without being caught, but her story ends when she makes a mistake. Manipulating drunk men was usually easy for Laura. Like the pet stores and animal shelters, they didn't ask too many questions. One night, she escorted a new victim to her home and to a shed where she kept her work hidden from her family. Recently, she'd begun adding torture as part of her hobby, but it made things more complicated keeping the victims alive after they learned they were in danger. This night, she tied the victim to a chair. The man slipped the knots and overpowered her. To escape, the man killed Laura Bennett. Years after her death, and after the truth about her was found out, Laura's story is best known by the family's night she tied the victim to a chair. But there is another story that is, for now, unknown. To escape, Laura's family disappeared after she was killed. No one knows where they've gone, and after except perhaps them, or at least those of them who are still alive. And the story of the man who killed Mother is still being written. I know how it ends. Killing runs in the family.
What? I'm lost. Okay, guys, we're going to a different game. No, wait. I can't even play Rec Room right now. What? I'm not doing this. Guys, I'm gonna have to end stream. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, viewer. I tried to stream today. I can't. Bye.